name's Afshi from Lemonaid. I'm talking to Derek from the Hacker Collective and Farah as well. You guys want to say what you do?
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. My name is Derek, co-founder of Hacker Collective. Apshi reached out to me a couple of days ago, talk about what we're doing in terms of the social impact side of things. And Farah here, Farah, take over. Just talk about yourself.
Hi, Farah here. I basically am the social impact lead for THC. So we're just here to talk more about our program and our company itself, right?
Yeah. All right. I'll start with the questions. First one. So what is Hacker Collective?
Sure, Apshi. So really, there's no one way to define who we are, what we do. We see ourselves as a couple of things, right? Social impact community, self-taught community, and the hacker community. So what does that mean, right? Let me just break it down one by one very quickly. So when we say hackers, right, what do you think?
I think of like people in hoodies, like
right, like in the dark, right? No, but yeah, I mean the name might be a little bit misleading, but we're trying to start a movement here. So the hacker, basically, we're not referring to people who hacks PCs and whatnot, right? When we say hackers, we mean people with the hacker mindset. So people who challenge the status quo. So it's not just hacking PCs. You have like life hacking, growth hacking, that kind of stuff. So when you think of hacking as a whole, it applies to all aspects of life. So yeah, really people who look for loopholes and opportunities. And the idea here really is the mindset that we want to encourage people to have.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So and so when we say self-taught community, we mean people who have the ability to learn on their own, without spending 3 years in uni to get a job, paying graduate level salary, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of this before, right? You learn more on the job than you did in uni. So that's the point. Correct. We want to give the fundamentals, the basics to people so that they can get to the job part as soon as possible, albeit, as a beginner. So, because, you're from working on these real world projects, you learn so much more, you apply the knowledge, and it just makes so much more sense than paying for uni, and not just paying, spending 3 years in uni, right? Imagine opportunity cost. Let's say you self-taught yourself, you just take 1 year of like full-time studies, and then the next few years you can start working and making income already. So, the goal is to get people to start working and to learn on the job without paying so much for degrees. And I believe it's possible. So you're really, in short, right, you can see us as a movement in this direction. Yeah.
So would you say like when you started the Hacker Collective, like this goal of like sort of this movement was the initial goal, or would you say that's something that came from like the evolution over the past few months?
Yeah, pretty much this can be the initial goal as well. So let's just consider this initial goal. We had some little details here and there that's it. Basically, it's more like, tech talents are hard to find. So instead of, because uni grads are expensive and we can't really afford them. So when it comes to software projects and all that, we need to hire people and it's hard to find talent. So we're thinking, why not build a curriculum where people work with the tech stack that we use? You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, even if they're a uni grad and they expect so much more, we still have to train them up. So why not, hire raw talents, pick them up when they're still, and nurture them, and then, slowly grow them from there. That's the initial mindset.
Yeah, that's really true. That you would have to do some training anyway.
Yes. So why not just pick someone when they're still raw? You just need to know the fundamentals of programming, and that's it. You don't need to know everything in a 3-year degree, right? Yeah. So that was the initial goal. But then, to do that, we don't, it's not like we're gonna need like 1 million people in our team, right? It's more like, then we're just thinking, how can we scale this up to impact more lives? Well, which I will share a little bit more. So yeah, I'll share in a bit.
So what would you say was the thing that really inspired you to go into this business?
What really inspired me? It's mainly, so I came from a business background. I studied accounting and finance in uni, and when I came back from UK, I was working in a venture capital firm. I've always been like a tech startup where I loved it. So I just told myself I wanted to explore, more on the tech side of things to really know how technology works, and maybe hopefully someday I could build something out from scratch with my own abilities. I wanted that skill. So really that skill and other CTOs that are really cool people, these people are the ones who inspired me. So it's not just building a business, it's more like understanding the entire stack that they're using to build a business.
Cool. So I've read that like one of your beliefs is like disrupting that like traditional school, university work pipeline.
Yeah.
And now that we are living in this like kind of like post-COVID economic state, people just don't have probably as much money to go to university, things like that. How do you feel like that kind of sort of applies to our time now or even pre-COVID? I think that just generally like this idea of disrupting the traditional model is very interesting. Maybe you can speak a little more about that.
Oh, so basically, comparing what we're doing now with the traditional school, school,
That
university
pipeline
model.
that I
Yeah.
think we have all sort of fallen into, all three of us.
Yes, all of us, literally all of us, right? I mean, the society has fallen into it.
Yeah.
So, there's truly no right or wrong, but, especially during COVID, right? Especially during COVID. So definitely, right? So, if you look at it, universities are even literally doing the online model as well. So, if you think, I know, right? So, prior to COVID, okay, some people may just argue that university is an experience that everyone has to live through, like an experience, whatever that means, right? This partying kind of experience, I don't know, but it's an experience, right? So I'm sure we all fell into it and we've learned a lot from uni, which is great, but, is it really worth paying such a huge premium just for that experience? I don't know, right? So maybe you can replace that uni experience with other things, joining societies, going for Toastmasters, for example. You don't need to go to uni for that, for example, right? So, yeah. So that's why, actually, I actually kind of missed out something just now. I wanted to mention more about how we could scale this, the Hacker Collective, right? So maybe I can just go back to that point because I thought, yeah. So initially we were remember we said we wanted to hire talents, since we're as raw talents, right? And then, so it changed. We wanted to impact more lives. So do you know what a cell group meetings? I'm not Christian, but it's a Christian thing where people have different cell groups. So they go to church once every week, right? And then the second time they meet up, it's like in a smaller group. I think 10 people. They meet up in someone's house and then talk about the Bible and all that stuff, right? Well, I'm not Christian, so the correct me.
Yeah, they have like the smaller,
yes,
that's like a study group or something of that type.
Yes, that's a concept that we wanted to build across Malaysia and hopefully across the world, where people can, form their own small groups all over Malaysia and, just learn technology together. Senior people will come inside and they just hang out, get to know each other. Then the juniors who are just stepping in, right, can, leverage on the seniors' experience and learn. We wanted to try that model out and hopefully make it free, right? Because, well, we just wanted to start, what do you call it? We just wanted to start something, right, to make it free. And then it's not like we're going to hire teachers to lead these people, but, making it free, people were not committed, all right? So we did that for a while. Yeah. People came and they went and they left. They came and they left. And like, it's just not scalable. So it didn't work as we wanted it to work. So we started charging money and we started putting in more. Oh yeah, and the students, they expected a lot more hand-holding. They were like, what is this thing? They were thinking, because my mindset initially, right, what I envisioned was a group of people coming together and learning together, right? But the students, in general, they expected more hand-holding. And I cannot really expect a mentor to handhold anyone without paying them, right? Because the mentor is there. The mentor, as in the senior, is there really to learn from each other. And he's not there to like fully focus and teach you. He's there to do his own stuff and answer you when you have your own question, when you have some questions. That's the idea of self-taught. But that kind of didn't work. So we had to pivot into a more mentor-focused style, where we bring our own students in as the mentor to teach junior students. Well, and then
ecosystem.
Yes, an ecosystem. So part of the curriculum is by the end of it, after you start working on real world projects, you have to come back. I mean, we can't force anyone, but a lot of them are very, very interested to come back and teach the juniors, which is great, because, let's be real, right? You don't need a PhD student to teach you to write for a loop, for example, like programming loop. You don't need a PhD. Yeah, you just need someone who understands it, and that's it, right? And then now we're thinking on the next level, how can we scale it even further, right? Not just cell group meetings, how can we scale it even further? How can we impact more? For example, Teach for Malaysia. I'm sure you guys are aware of it. Teach for Malaysia, they're doing good. They're doing amazing, but they're still always capped by labor. So they need people, right? No matter what, they need to have like people living in Kuantan or Pahang or whatever. They need people. So I was thinking, is there a way we can do it where you don't need so much of manpower, because it's just capping your growth. So that's why we're building up a social learning portal where we are social learning, meaning, so back to the university point just now that we mentioned. Sorry, I'm just jumping around now.
No, please.
But back to the university part of things, we were arguing about the social experience, the whatever experience, right? So we wanted to build in all of this experience, mentorships, project matching, Q&A, peer review, gamification, all this kind of stuff. We want to put it in so that you're not just learning on your own as anymore. You are learning with a group of people, led by some mentors that can guide you when you need help. And you can also because it's not a degree, it's not recognized, right? So you can also work with these companies, take on companies. That's why we are actively looking for companies, taking in projects from the companies so that these students can do, and at least they have a company-backed project in their portfolio.
Yes, I remember reading this on your website. I thought it was a very unique point that you do have like real world experience with actual companies.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing like that. I feel like when I left university, I thought I knew everything in the world, and after I got my first job, I was like, I don't know anything.
Not even half of what you learn in university is used, right? You have to completely learn from scratch.
Exactly. You have a lot of theoretical knowledge, but that doesn't it's not a direct line towards practical knowledge.
Yes.
So I thought that was amazing. And I wanted to ask you, so what is hypo? How do you say it?
Hypo. So hypo, yeah, we started to use that a bit less now because people are always asking this question. I feel like I have to explain it again and again every time. But basically, hypo, it means high performance. That's all it is. High performance learning groups. So people are supposed to go there and dedicate 100% of their efforts. But as I said, people started to expect more hand holding. So we might change the hypo name soon, but no worries, just hypo is what it is for now.
Okay.
High performance.
All right. And I mean, as you were saying, about the, losing the university experience or whatever, I feel like when it comes to university, it's the experience is what you make of it. You can have almost the exact same experience doing a course like the one you guys have. It's like if you just want to just study and that's it. Or if you want to make it something more and have the friendships group, have the partying, all that, you can also do that. It's just a different way of approaching it.
Oh, yes. You're 100% right? Like if you went to uni and you decide to stay in your dorm and just study all day, you could do that. If you want to choose to go out, it's still your own initiative, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even for example, let's say you can still go to uni events as a non-uni student, right? I met so many people because when I was studying in UK, I met a lot of locals who just came for uni events, even though they were not, the uni students. So I'm just thinking, do you really need uni for those experiences? Is it worth it? I don't know.
The experiences we see in movies, and that's what we're chasing, and we think that we're gonna have it. But you realize when you get there, it's up to you to have those experiences.
Yes, you're absolutely. I agree with you. You're right.
And I think it's also great that you guys, a part of your program is getting the students to also start teaching. I used to be a dancer, and once we got to a certain age, we had to teach because it is the most amazing way to refine your own skill. Because you can transfer the skill to someone else, you've already mastered it.
Yes, exactly. And also, I'm not sure about ballet, but when you're first learning, there's always gaps in your knowledge, right? Like little things here and there that you're good enough to get by because you're learning up and you avoid them, right? But when you start teaching people, you start to feel like, oh shit, what if they ask me those stuff? Then you actually drill down on it and improve.
Yeah, and then you understand the intention behind why you do something because you have to explain it. Yeah.
Yep.
So, would you consider your business a social enterprise?
As of now, right? So what's a social enterprise again? It's basically companies that generate revenue and use that revenue. What does it mean again?
It's like a company that its mission is based in the community, and it has a higher serving purpose. So but it's for profit. So most companies have business models that are just purely for profit. A social enterprise goes a little bit further, that even if their measurables are monetary, their mission is community based or has a higher purpose.
Yes, then definitely I would consider myself a social enterprise. Not Hacker Collective though. It's the web portal that I was talking about. So Hacker Collective, right now we're still branching into the social enterprise thing. But the thing is, we're not really making profits and distributing back the profits. You know what I'm saying? We might even monetize based off this group of people, because we can't be providing education for free now.
Yeah, of
right,
course.
as of now.
So
I
just
would say,
note, with like a social enterprise, you don't have to be giving the money back to the community. Instead, you're uplifting the community in your business practices.
oh yes,
So, for example,
definitely.
you like hire, like a social enterprise can
Oh
be
yes.
like hire people from like techies. They hire people, refugees. So
Mhm.
it intrinsically working to help the community, but they are for profit.
Oh yes, then definitely we are. So we tried applying. We're still applying to actually get the social enterprise accreditation, by Magic, but it's still in process. So I can't proudly say yet that I am, because it's not approved yet. But hopefully very soon. Hopefully very soon. Yep. And also the fact, for the portal that we're building on, our first target audience, we're actually targeting people within the Felda community, Felda settlers. We're in talk with them right now. So Felda and B40. So Felda is, some of them, most of them are like within B40. And then there's refugee communities as well.
Yep.
So these people are actually the first batch we're going to reach out to, because let's be real, right? Why would anyone use this portal if I say, people still believe that they need uni now, right? Even if, Malaysians, as long as you can afford it, you would do it. You wouldn't even think twice, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's these people that can really benefit from it. And if it's not us to go out and reach out to them, I don't know who else will do. I don't know who else will do it, because unis can't do it for free.
Yeah, I think it's also amazing that when you reach out to like refugees, especially, it's because like in Malaysia, like they're not really allowed to enter the economic market. And when you do something like in the tech-based world, if you can work remotely, you don't need technically need a visa to have those kind of jobs.
Yeah, definitely.
So Farah, this one is for you. Since you're working more on the like social impact side, why do you feel like this program is important, and maybe you can give a little bit more information about the program?
Yeah, sure. So so the project that we're doing in the program is like Project Upskill. So basically what we want to do is to attract B40s and refugees community to join us for basically a program where I think in terms of the program itself, Derek could explain it better in terms of what they teach, but it's basically the same kind of program that you guys teach to the other students, right?
Yep.
And then, so basically like why I think this program is important and why I wanted to help out was that it's the B40 and refugees community. It's very hard for them. They're not really technically exposed to this kind of programs, right? And for us, it was important for us to basically potentially build that bridge to help them see more more ways of like earning money and gaining a better life. And then also just basically not just provide resources, but also the confidence. Because I feel like we've gone to many places, many flats, many B40 housing areas. And a lot of the questions that comes back to us is like, can I do this? Or like, can my kid do this? Like, it's like, they feel like it's something that is not reachable. And I think, and then the point, what we want to do is saying that, hey, we're going to give you the resources. We'll give you the laptops and everything. You just need to come, give your best effort. Like that's something that I always highlighted when we talk to like the aunties, saying like trying to convince them to bring their kids in or their nephews, is saying that we want motivated students, right? If you're motivated to something, if you're 110% in, you can learn anything you put your mind into.
Exactly.
So trying to not let that whole idea of it being too hard financially or academically to stray away from this kind of opportunity for them to basically rebuild themselves and like gain new paths for their careers. So
and I mean, what are some of like the common misconceptions, like both of you, that you guys have sort of come across while looking into more working with these communities? Because I think a lot of people have a lot of like ideas that might not be right when it comes to like the B40 community and refugees. So what are some of the things that you guys have heard that are probably wrong?
I think for like so far that I feel like I've observed, it's just the fact that for them it's like, as all of us, right? Like you guys said just now, universities are very important. So it's like, oh, university, and then you can get a career in programming or all this. So I feel like for them to trust that there are more ways of trying to learn, like I think it's like educating them that there's other ways to be educated, right?
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah, Yeah, because most of them, post high school, if they even went to high school, right? Post high school, they just don't have the confidence to take the next step forward, right? So what are their options, post high school, go to uni, and what else? I'm not really sure. That's not much. So, they just end up not having that confidence because, I don't have a uni degree. What can I do with life, I can't do anything.
Yeah, and
you know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
with refugees and B40s also, university itself is a luxury.
Yes.
It is a luxury for them, and it's about what, 2 years, 3 years, and they have to set aside their time, and that's a lot of time for them. Not to help their family or income,
and not earning any money.
and not earning way less money, or like trying to juggle university and part-time kind of job. And I feel like with this program, the aim is it's only 4 months, and you got to sacrifice this 4 months and then learn. And it's not really a sacrifice if you think about it. Like,
it's an investment, right?
Investment. Yeah, investing in yourself for 4 months is not something that's a lot to ask. Because we were like, I think when I first joined, I was like, oh, 3-4 months. I was like, okay. I was like, how do they stop earning? Because they would need to do it full time, right? So like trying to think of like ways of like, how can they still move with this program and not like affect them too much in that 4 months. Yeah,
I remember initially Farah was always telling us, can we make it part-time? Can we make it part-time?
Yeah.
But if you kind of think of it, it's tough if you do it part-time, right? It's really tough. You need to put in 8 hours a day to, I mean, look at boot camps, right? I love boot camps, for example. Boot camps are, they are like, they're spearheading this goal of getting a job without a degree. And so many has done it. But what's the difference? The only difference is, you're paying a crap ton of money for boot camps. And it's not like their mentors are like, some PhD as well. It's just, it's people who are good enough to answer your questions. But the difference here is, part-time versus full-time is, for example, in boot camps, people put in full-time effort. And that's why they proceed and they progress. Because if you do it part-time, it's just tough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after a few rounds of like going back and forth about that, I honestly do think that they do need to, I'm like fully convinced that they do need to do it full time. Because it's something where, if especially knowing a lot of people in that sense, like you need to have their mind on this, like focus on this. If not, it'll straight away something will come in and the whole thing will basically like, like,
I think in a way it's like good to set a commitment. Like you're doing this, it's gonna be 4 months, this is what's gonna be happening. There's like, it's good to, because then you know that there's end goal, you know that you're in it, and that you will complete it. I think that's
it's an achievement. It's like
that's a very good point. Yes, actually, that's actually a very good point. Because, like, for example, when you're learning up the basics, right, it's easy to sit through it. It's easy. It's not tough. You just go through it. But when the hard part comes, right, as humans, we just want to run away from it. Unis make you sit through it. Why? Because we have exams, and if you fail,
because our parents are paying so much money, so like we have to do it.
Exactly. So, like, for example, you bring it back to our context. If you do it part-time, right, you just don't have that drive. But if you're physically there present and you have a mentor, you have your peers there together, you have no excuse, literally no excuse. You have to sit through it. No matter how tough it is, you have to find a way to solve it. And that, that struggle is growth. That's how I see it. You have to go through it. Yeah,
definitely agree. So for Farah, what drew you to THC?
Well, like I mentioned we talked about just now, basically I have a full-time job myself, but I wanted to make use of my free time, and I felt like I needed to do something, and I needed to do something that speaks to me too. So Derek found me and then basically contacted me. And then I think the one thing that sparked from the start was like how him and the other co-founder Ming was very passionate about what they were doing. And I mean, I have no background in coding or programming, but I think the fact that I know there are so many people that do, but I'm able to. And then when they spoke about the social impact, then I was like, ding, ding, ding. I was like, that's it. I was like,
perfect.
Because I was like, okay, if it's for the company itself, I think I wouldn't have my passion is more towards like social impact within my company now and this. So a lot of, I feel like trying to help them with this, like would really like, is a personal growth rather than anything to me. I think trying to help, and it's not just me, it's helping the community itself. Like, I think that's the most important part, is like reaching out to these people and like convincing them and motivating them to like try something new, like find a better life. And I think like helping us push that, like helping Derek and Ming work on this kind of, I don't know, just like, I was like, it's a good idea in my head. And I was like, I went with it and I'm glad I did. So
Yeah, and I think it's like amazing that we see like we're all of us are like in our 20s and we're all trying to work in to some extent for the community. It's very heartening to see that, because like if we all don't like we feel what's the word, we feel a responsibility to give back and do something that's not just for us to like get rich and all of that. Of course we want to have a nice life, but we also believe that we have to do more, and I think that's amazing. Like for both of you, like I think it's really nice to see more and more young people like, yes, we're pursuing our passions, having our full-time jobs, profit earning, but we are also trying to give back.
I think one thing that I realized, it was something like, I feel like all of us have gotten university degrees that our parents paid for it, right? And then it's like with that, and we didn't apply any of that in our in our careers. And I feel like these people have they feel like because they didn't get a university degree, they can't do certain jobs. And I feel like that whole idea needs to be shifted a little bit and more exposed to these groups of communities, because I feel like for them, it's like, it's either that or just working here, like at this place where my whole family has worked, and it just continues living a comfortable life, like in a comfortable, but and for them, like trying to widen the vision for them and just helping them grow. I think that's something that's really important. Without
Definitely. And like
go on.
Okay, so like when I see programs like this, it like reminds me of like my dad. Like my dad didn't finish high school, or he maybe just barely finished high school. And when he came to KL, he like didn't have enough money. He wanted to go to art school, and he like didn't have 400 ringgit to pay the initial fee. And like a program like this for someone like my dad, who was like 18 years old, just like, didn't have much money, didn't know where to go, wanted to get some skills. Like programs like this would have been so beneficial. So I can see that like something like this can really change somebody's life. It can even help them with like socioeconomic upward mobility, and that's huge.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I've looked into like programs that they teach like for like in vocal schools, or like certain like all this like certification kind of thing, but it's always like automotive or farming or this. But it's like, why haven't you guys exposed them to tech? That's where that's where it's moving forward to. That's where it's more reliable to, like for that, like there's 5% in there, 5% out of how many hundreds of thousand people actually interested in working in tech, but without you even like giving them the attention. It's like, oh no, I'm only limited to this kind of careers, And I think like just letting them know that there's other options out there.
Yeah, and I think Farah raised a very good point about just broadening their vision. Let them see that it's doable as well. So like Farah, you gotta tell her about how we believe you can do it. So Farah and us and I and Ming as well, we once a week, right? We go to this more rural areas of KL or PJ, and we paste up posters everywhere saying we're teaching programming and all that. Yeah, and we actually took, because like one A4 size paper is not that long, it's not that big, right? So we even, and our text is very big, and we actually tried to put in one line that says, we believe you can do it, just to show them that it's doable. Because like we spoke to some aunties, right? The aunties were like, oh, ini programming saya punya anak boleh. Like something like that, it's like it's that kind of mindset where I don't know, okay, maybe some of them knows that they can do it, but like even if some of them feel that they can't do it, we want to break that mindset and tell them that you can do it too.
Or at least give it a try,
Exactly.
Like our whole program, so our whole program before the 4 months, we're actually right now just recruiting people to come to a workshop. So it's a free workshop. It's probably going to be online at this point with the COVID cases. So it depends. It's either online, or we haven't decided, online or in person. So what that workshop would do is basically expose them to what the whole program's about, because not many of them would actually know, like they would, programming maybe can earn a lot of money, but you have to know if they have actual interest in it, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of commitment to just stop and focus on this for 4 months. And like I said, we want motivated students to like actually really want to make a change and learn. So that workshop will basically give an idea of like how it works and like what they would like, what kind of commitment is going to be expected
Yeah.
from them and all that. And I think like the whole point of like our posters is just for people to come to the workshop. That's it. Like you don't have to commit about the 4 month yet. Just come to a workshop and check it out and like understand there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, Derek, what are some like notable milestones in your so far in your journey of the Hacker Collective?
So I think with regards to this one, I think one of the biggest ones would be the fact that we're running a mentor-led, a pure learning model, which is what we actually wanted to do all as well. And right now we're actually doing it. We had like, I think 3 or 4 of our students doing it. And, you know, it means a lot to me when I see that, right? It kind of means, it shows growth and progress. You know, it means, you know, these people are willing to not just teach. It means that they're stepping out of their comfort zone. And it means these people, they and also, you know, they reach out to me and tell me how they appreciate this opportunity to teach people. And, you know, yeah, and also the fact that the junior students are okay, there are no complaints. You know, these senior students are able to answer all of those questions, and the junior students are receptive to this senior students. So I just felt like, you know, this itself, you know, means a lot to me, as someone who was the first batch who actually mentored these people. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it does to like see something like to see your baby grow.
Yes, exactly, right? Exactly. We have quite a few of them, and it's great. It's great. It's really awesome. We're gonna do like an interview with like these people who also, you know, went out to do jobs and all that. You know, one of them is a super smart guy, super smart kid. He's doing he was doing a gap year before he went on to uni, and right now he's in NUS doing computer science, and like super talented kid, and he worked on many projects with us. So I just feel just seeing this kind of success stories makes me really happy. And I would say, you know, that's considered like a milestone to me.
I mean, like at the end of the day, that's why you do it, right?
Yes, exactly.
So what's next for THC?
What's next? So I think the direction forward, we would really want to make it free, or we want to find a way to pivot back to the self-learning style. We don't want to like charge people on this kind of stuff, but we're still trying to find a way to maybe just charge a one-time fee for people to come, because right now it's pretty hard for people to commit this amount of money and then come once every week. We want to find a way where we can, you know, I don't know, centralize everything and make people start meeting up again, because I feel the physical connection is very important. Maybe just once a month, you know, that's what we're trying to do. And on top of that, the social learning platform that we're building, we're putting a lot of time on that right now. And we hope with that, we can start scaling the model and, you know, do it throughout Malaysia, throughout Singapore, throughout Asia and all that. So that's what we're trying to do now. Most of our time is on the portal, and also, yeah, of course, social impact side of things. We want to hopefully get one batch up very soon. We're in talks with Felda, which is great, but she hasn't replied me yet after the very first email I told Farah. Because I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but I think just 2 or 3 weeks ago, Felda they issued an announcement. You know how palm oil is doing very bad now, right? So
Yeah.
Felda issued an announcement saying that they want to shift some of these people and diversify their skill sets. So maybe that's why, you know, they were interested to chat more about this, because palm oil is doing bad, so they have to diversify their skill sets. So hopefully this is, you know, our next step forward, and hopefully we can get these people as our first batch of students.
I think after the first batch, like seeing people getting jobs and seeing people from the community getting jobs, it's not, because I feel like that's what I've been telling us, like they've had batches before on the normal program, but it's different when it comes to seeing your own, like people that are like from your community, refugees and B40s, did this program and then get jobs and get a better life. I think that's like one of the, I think even the first batch I'll probably cry. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? So in fact, you know, we have one refugee working with us full time now. Another one, he's still not ready yet, but we're still training him up for free right now. We're literally training him up for free so they can come on board and work with us. And you know, all these success stories, even though it's not a lot, right? But it still means a lot. Something, because because it shows something. Even if, you know, 1 out of 10 of them succeed, it's still something, you know. And we're always ready to pivot the model if we have to. I don't think I shared this just now, but back in the days, I went to a little boot camp, programming boot camp. It's a refugee boot camp, and that's where I met some of my friends. And, you know, that's why we came up with the idea. That's why Farah came up with a very good idea of doing like a 2-day workshop first, to make them understand what is this whole thing about. Because oftentimes people just apply, and look, the dropout rate for that bootcamp, I'm not saying the bootcamp is bad, the bootcamp is amazing, right? But the dropout rate, even at such an amazing bootcamp, was, dude, it's freaking crazy. I think we had like 25 people, and at the end, right? At the end, yeah, and it's a part-time course, okay? It's a part-time course. At the end, right? We had like 5 people left, only 5 left.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like
Wow.
just calculate. It's crazy. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we, you know, programming is tough, and we don't want to just sell the dream. Everyone wants to learn programming. Everyone wants to build something from scratch. But are you ready to give what it takes? So we don't know. That's why we need to filter it out. Yeah.
And I mean, even at one point when I was like at a lull in my career, I always wanted to try and learn programming and all that, and I couldn't find many programs for it. And if they were so expensive. And like they had all these programs for like children. I was like, can I join that? They were like, no.
No, really?
But I was seeing like on your website, like it is on the more affordable side of like.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We provide full-time mentorships, you know, because you know, back in the days when I was still self-teaching myself, you know, I took 3 to 4 months out full-time, not working, doing nothing, literally just learning on my own. Something like this would honestly benefit me so much because I had no options, right? I was coding, learning on my own. 1, I could go back to uni, which is, no, I'm not going to do that, okay? 2, I could go for boot camps, which are great, but I can't afford 12K. I'm a fresh graduate with no income, right? So I learned myself, and if I had something like this with me, or even just a mentor who's there to you know, get on a call with me, you know, when I'm stuck, right? That would mean the world to me, right? That would help me so much. So, you know, this is why we want to provide a platform for people who are, that's why I always emphasize on self-taught, because you're expected to go home and do your work. The people who come once a week and go back home and they expect and not do work and they expect to be like a pro programmer, it's just not going to happen, right? You need to reach out to us throughout the week, and that's when we're here for you. That's where you get the most value out of it. Like full-time mentorship for like, not full-time because we're not going to sit next to you and watch you study, but like you're able to reach out to us anytime at all. And the price is just, I think, what, 300 ringgit per month. I feel that's pretty affordable, you know? And we had successes like the Singaporean guy the Malaysian guy, the college guy who was with us. He actually came with us for 2 to 3 months, and he actually, you know, got a job with us. And right then after that, he went on to uni. Then he left to uni. So I feel it's not so much, it's more like something that has to come from within. No one can give you this. It's the drive. As far as it is the mindset, the drive, the willingness to put in the work.
Yeah, but also it's like, I feel like in the program, like we'll build the environment that helps you get into that zone too.
Yes.
Because it's also your environment, like around you.
Yeah.
Of how many negative thinking. So it's like for us to be there, and that's what the mentor does, is like just motivating you, like pushing you,
guide
like,
you,
on your own.
Pushing you to be like your best self. Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of people within these communities that are overlooked, that have the talent, that have the drive.
Yes, definitely.
They just maybe feel like this life, I just cannot reach it. I feel like I could do it, but it's just so far away from me. But to have programs like this it's amazing.
Yep, definitely. Yeah,
that's all my questions. Do you guys have anything else to add?
Great.
I'm good.
I'm good too. But I think one more point to add is that, you know, that want to talk a little bit about why we chose coding as well, right? There's so many skill sets that we can do, right? But I think one of the biggest reason is because, firstly, to stand out in code, it's not like being a doctor, a lawyer. It's not like a specialist career where you need a cert. You know, it's not like an accountant. You need to go for ACCA and all that. With coding, you need to be able to code, build up projects, and that's it. You will be demanded, right? People will hire you. People will pay you for that. So that's one big reason. Another reason is, you know, coders are not bound by their geographical constraints, right? Let's say you're a refugee in Malaysia. Very good point you raised just now, actually. Like you're a refugee in Malaysia, you can't work elsewhere, like, right? Even like a random job, I don't want to, you know, like even like other jobs, right, that doesn't require a degree, they still can't hire you legally because you're a refugee, which is very bad. Like what else are they gonna do, right? So I feel, you know, if we give them the skill to code, and if, you know, and everything can come done online. You can work from home, work remotely, and we can pay you online. Like it's just a way forward for them, I feel.
Yeah. And you can get opportunities all over the world. I even have a friend who's a coder, and she works for an American company, but she works in Malaysia. So like things like that, like you can genuinely like get a job anywhere in the world, and you can work remotely. I think that is why this is also like post-COVID time, of amazing skill to have.
Yep. Definitely.
All right. I think where everybody said everything they want to say.
Yeah.